The devastating truth. Millionaire dresses poor to test son. What happened at midnight? The clock struck 12 as the moon cast eerie shadows across the sprawling mansion. 12 chimes echoed through the empty halls, piercing the heavy silence like a knife through flesh. Something unsettling was lurking beneath the surface. And tonight was the night it would all spill out. A rusted old trunk, hidden in the attic, contained secrets that could unravel everything. As Rich Mercer, wealthy, powerful, and utterly unapproachable, donned a tattered coat and scuffed shoes. He felt a rush of adrenaline. The richest man in town was about to step into a world he had long dismissed. His heart pounded in his chest, a tight knot of nerves intertwining with anticipation. Could this costume really change everything? What would his son Adam think when he saw his father as just another man, a nobody? In the dim light of the living room, he caught his breath, a flicker of self-doubt creeping in. The clock's relentless ticking hung heavily in the air. What if Adam didn't he recognize him? What if this experiment shattered the very bond they shared? Rich jerked his head, dispelling those thoughts. This was his chance to determine if his son valued him for the man he was or simply for the wealth he wielded. Outside, the world was a cacophony of sounds: a dog barking, wind rustling leaves, the distant thud of a misjudged footfall. Rich emerged into the night, determined. The cool breeze wrapped around him, awakening senses long dulled by privilege. As he approached the darkened street, houses loomed like silent guardians, each shadow seeming to whisper secrets intended solely for him. Then, just as he turned the corner, he heard laughter. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. Rich pressed on, the laughter echoing in his ears like a haunting melody. It belonged to a group of teenagers, careless and free, a stark contrast to the stoic life he led. He wanted to call out, to be part of the joy, but he felt alien, a billionaire disguised as a street dweller. What was this life? He suddenly felt the weight of his decision as sweaty palms gripped the fabric of his coat. What would happen when they spotted him? Would they mock him? Kick him to the curb as though he were nothing? Darkness seeped into his mind, choking the hope he desperately tried to cling to. Just then he heard a voice bright and clear. Look at this loser. The laughter rushed back, sharper than before, piercing him through the heart. But then he caught sight of Adam, his own son, standing among them, and confusion flooded Rich's veins. What was Adam doing out here? Hadn't he seen his son with this crowd before? Did he fit in with them? Wasn't he supposed to be at home, tucked away in the lavish security of their estate? Rich's stomach dropped like a stone. The question burned in his mind: what secrets lay beneath this simple gathering? And just as his courage surged, ready to confront the truth, a low rumble of thunder echoed ominously above. The storm was coming, but which storm? The one raging in the heavens, or the tempest brewing in the heart of the man who had dared to step into the shadows? Rich's heart raced, a wild drum echoing in his ears as he stood frozen in the shadows, a mere spectator in a world where he felt like an intruder. Adam's laughter mingled with that of his friends, carefree and vibrant, an image of youth untouched by the burdens that weighed on Rich's shoulders. He squinted through the darkness, battling an overwhelming urge to burst onto the scene and shake Adam from this enthralling reverie. But before he could make a move, a sharp voice pulled him back. You're gonna regret this, man, one of the teenagers sneered, pointing at Adam. They're not your friends. They just want something from you. The words sliced through Rich's resolve like a knife. Was this the truth? Did Adam really think he needed to buy friendship? The thought sent a wave of nausea curling in his gut. The group erupted in outrageous laughter, and Rich strained to get closer, his palms itching to expose his identity. Each chuckle felt like a dagger buried deeper in his chest. The world he had created, wealth and privilege, suddenly felt like a gilded cage. The disconnect between him and Adam was isolating, and the empty mansion that had given them comfort now echoed hollow and barren. "Hey, I dare you," said one bold teenager, flexing an exaggerated bravado. "Go steal that sign at the bus stop. Let us see if you can actually do something wild." Adam hesitated, his laughter faltering for just a moment. Rich sucked in a breath, desperate for his son to turn away, to assert his dignity. Instead, the pale light of the street lamp caught Adam's face, revealing uncertainty simmering beneath the bravado. And then something in Adam shifted. "All right, I'm in," he shouted, bursting into laughter once again. Rich's heart sank as he watched Adam stride toward the bus stop, bolstered by the cheers of his so-called friends. Was this what life with them meant? Panic surged and coursed through Rich like ice water. "Adam!" he shouted, the name escaping before he could contain it. The laughter ceased, and the light chatter dissolved into a heavy silence. Adam froze, spinning around to find the source of the voice. It was as if time had stopped for a moment. The tension in the air thickened, vibrating in tandem with the thunder rumbling ominously above. "What the hell?" Adam's expression morphed from surprise to confusion. His eyes searched the darkness like they were trying to penetrate the very fabric of night. And just for a fleeting moment, Rich felt the flicker of hope. Did Adam sense something familiar in that voice? The crowd began to whisper, glancing at each other with skeptical eyes, unsure of this unexpected turn. Rich's heart thundered in his chest. He took a step forward, emboldened, desperate to shout out the truth that had invaded his thoughts. But the sound of crashing thunder split through the night, startling them all. Then, just as quickly as the moment began, Adam shrugged, a dismissive gesture that sent a pang of despair through Rich. "Forget it, guys. It was just some freak." The laughter resumed, and Adam turned back to the group. The urgency poured out of Rich, filling him with a sense of impending loss. He needed to act quickly, to sever this detachment before it swallowed Adam whole. Suddenly, a new figure emerged from the crowd. A girl with fiery hair stepped forward, keenly observant. "What if we find out who he really is?" she suggested, the challenge sparking a light in her blue eyes that Rich's breath caught in his throat. And in that moment, he knew this was not just a fight for Adam's respect. It was a fight for understanding, for connection. Could he unveil his truth without shattering everything that had come before? As he took another step into the fray, lightning cracked across the sky, illuminating the chaos that lay ahead. He felt more alive than he ever had. But the question loomed like thunderclouds above. Was he ready for the storm that was about to break? Rich's mind raced as he lunged forward, propelled by a mix of desperation and fear. The gathering of teenagers transformed from a lively scene into a pressure cooker, each laugh spilling forth like boiling water. The girl with fiery hair locked eyes with him, a predator intrigued by an unexpected bait. He could almost feel her probing gaze, searching for vulnerability. "Who are you?" she called out, voice sharp against the backdrop of the thunder rolling overhead. Rich's heart hammered as Adam turned to face him once more, confusion etched deeply on his features. It was now or never. "Adam!" he shouted again, tone more urgent, cutting through the simmering chaos. "It's me. It's your father." The words fell heavy in the air, mingling with the scent of rain. Gasps flew through the crowd, disbelief sparkling in their eyes. Time stretched thin, moments dragging like heavy weights. Adam stood frozen, a canvas where conflicting emotions painted vivid strokes of surprise and anger. "Dad," Adam said, voice barely above a whisper. The laughter muffled into a disoriented silence. Rich stepped closer, almost daring the rain to wash away the fears that gripped him. "I've been here watching you." Didn't he know how to say, "Why are you creeping around here? You embarrassed me." Adam's voice exploded, raw and passionate. "You think you can come here and ruin everything?" Rich recoiled, as if each word turned to shards of ice, slicing deep into his resolve. The murmurs erupted again, wave after wave, as onlookers exchanged whispers, caught in the allure of the spectacle. "Someone tell me what's going on." The fiery-haired girl broke the tension, bending down slightly to squint through the darkened veil of rain. As she stepped forward, a sudden crack of lightning illuminated her expression, a mix of challenge and curiosity. She was drawn to Rich, feeding off the drama igniting in the air. "You're the millionaire, right? The one who thinks he can throw money and make things right?" Something snapped within Rich. "No. This isn't about money, this is about you finding your way. You're better than this. Adam's expression hardened, anger bubbling just below the surface. You don't get it, do you? You don't know what it's like to live like I do. To be me. You just want to control everything. Rich's throat tightened, the very salt of guilt rising like bile. I'm trying to connect, Adam. You're my son. Another flash of lightning illuminated both their faces, and the crowd fell silent, waiting, hanging on the edge of this father-son confrontation. Rich felt the air pulse around him, heavy with unspoken words and unacknowledged pain. In that moment, the girl interjected again. Let us see who you really are, Rich. Show us. That challenge settled in the space between them, heavy and charged. The world around them blurred, and all Rich could think about was how the doubts and confidence swirled like a storm inside him. Maybe, just maybe, I can show you the truth, he replied, voice trembling with resolution. Adam was about to respond when a blaring siren swept through the stillness, bright lights piercing the darkness. They all turned toward the sound, confusion and shock rippling through the crowd. This isn't over, Rich whispered, heart racing anew. The siren grew closer, and the night shifted into something electric, a storm both literal and metaphorical. Suddenly, there they were, caught in a web of choices with the invading chaos collapsing in around them. What now? Adam's face was a picture of uncertainty. Before Rich had a chance to answer, adrenaline coursed through him. He gripped Adam's arm, pulling him closer. We face this together. Whatever happens next, but the truth loomed ahead, a shifting tide ready to break free. What lay behind the swirling storm of uncertainty? Would it wash away their connection, or reveal the depths of their emotional chaos? The air crackled with more than just the distant thunder. Rich felt the stir of something primal, a mixture of fear and a strange anticipation that crept under his skin. The crowd, once animated, now held its breath in unison, eyes wide and glued to the unfolding drama before them. Rich glanced at Adam, who seemed to shrink in on himself, weighing the burden of his father's sudden revelation. I don't want to face anything with you, Adam spat, the words laced with venom. You've spent years running away from your problems. Why should I trust you now? Rich's heart sank, but he pushed through the pain. I've changed, Adam. I'm here now. I don't want to lose you to whatever this life is. The sirens pulsed through the tension, drawing closer, a reminder of the chaos ready to fracture their fragile moment. The fiery-haired girl stepped back, her curiosity shifting to concern. Maybe you should leave. This isn't your place anymore, Millionaire. As her words hung in the air, Adam took a step away from Rich, his defenses rising like a wall between them. Go, Dad. Just go. Rain began to pour heavier, soaking the earth and blurring the lines between resolve and despair. No. Rich's voice rose above the storm, solid, desperate. I want to walk away this time. Before everything went wrong, I believed in you. You have to believe in me too. Adam's eyes burned with unshed tears, desperate for understanding. In that moment, the world around them faded. The sirens echoed, but they felt muffled, as if the chaos outside their bubble was a distant storm. Time stood still. What happened to you? Adam's voice trembled, the anger softening, revealing a flicker of the boy Rich once knew. What really happened to us? Before Rich could form a response, the night split with another blinding flash of lightning, illuminating the onlookers, their faces reflecting shock, horror, and morbid curiosity. Voices swirled around them, whispers of gossip and judgment spilling out like secrets torn from the heart. Have you heard? Someone murmured in the crowd, eyes wide. Is he really his father? The girl with fiery hair stepped forward again, drawing enough attention to amplify the conflict. You think you can just walk in and play the part of the proud father? You've got no idea what kind of life your son leads. Stop. Rich shouted, and the crowd quieted, drawn to his intensity. This isn't a show for any of you. This is my son. My flesh and blood. Do you think I want to be here? Court judgment from people I don't even know? This is about Adam. The siren noise faded for a moment as the tension thickened. Adam's gaze dropped to the ground, the fight slipping from him. You don't know me at all. Try me, the words escaped Rich's lips before he could temper them. Tell me everything, Adam. Why you're on the sidelines, what you felt, what I missed. Thunder roared overhead, drowning out the whispers, a wild rhythm matching the pounding in Rich's chest. as the crowd held tight, frozen, waiting for the truth to spill out under the downpour. But at that moment, a figure stepped from the darkness, a uniformed officer emerging from the chaos, commands lost in the roiling storm. The spotlight of his flashlight cut through the rain, landing squarely on Rich and Adam. "Sir, you need to disperse the crowd immediately," the officer boomed. Rich felt the weight of the world shift. He was running out of time. "This isn't over yet, Adam. Let us talk." But the officer's voice rang above their own, cutting through the storm. "Step away from your son." Rich's pulse quickened. What did that even mean? A crowd of onlookers, a storm of emotions, all swirling into chaos. "Please." Adam's voice was barely a whisper, lost in the noise. As the officer approached, the truth loomed like the storm itself, unpredictable and dangerous. What did the arrival of authority mean for them? Would they finally connect, or tear apart once more, all under the gaze of judgment? What lay ahead for Rich and Adam, with a world shrouded in secrets and revelations on the brink of exposure? Rich's heart raced. The officer's voice boomed, but all he could focus on was Adam's face, a canvas of confusion and hurt. The world around them faded into a blur. Why now? He thought. This was the moment they had been edging toward, built on years of absence and pain. Yet the officer's command felt like a knife, slicing through the fragile connection they were trying to mold. "Get away from my son," Rich bellowed once more, moving instinctively toward Adam. The officer held up his hand as if to push him back. "Stand down," the officer shouted, his flashlight beam unwavering. He advanced with purpose, and the crowd shifted, murmurs rising once more, wrapping around them like a thick fog. "Don't you dare touch him," Rich growled, desperation flooding his veins, drowning out every rational thought. "Just let us talk. Please. We deserve this." Adam stood frozen, his feet rooted to the wet concrete, caught in a tempest of feelings. Rich could see the wheels turning in his son's head. One moment of clarity, and everything could unravel. "Are you scared?" Adam finally spoke, his voice trembling yet defiant. "Scared of losing me? Or scared of what I might say?" The crowd leaned in like a beast sensing weakness. Rich felt the weight of every eye upon them, studying their every move, their every tear. He couldn't let this turn into a spectacle. "Adam, please." Rich's voice softened, reaching for the boy he once knew. "I'm terrified of losing you. Never again. Just let me in." The officer stepped forward again, closer now, his gaze hardening. "Enough of this. You're obstructing justice. I want to tell you again. Step away." Rich's throat tightened. "You think I'm the problem here? You think I'm the one causing this chaos?" His hands trembled slightly. "Yes, my son. I have every right to be here." "Not like this," the officer shot back, frustration simmering beneath his calm exterior. "You're causing a scene. A scene this crowd doesn't need right now." The unity of worries between uniform and crowd pulsed heavy in the air. Rich felt Adam's eyes shift, uncertainty replacing the fire. "No, Adam, don't give up on me. Just tell me," Adam whispered, barely audible over the thunder. "What do you want? What can you possibly say to make this okay?" Before Rich could answer, a flash of bright light cut through the dark, momentarily blinding them. Panic surged through him as a second officer emerged. He felt the charge in the air shift, the tone of the crowd steeping into something more dangerous. "This isn't about you," the fiery-haired girl shouted, stepping up closer to Adam. "They could lock him up. Is that what you really want?" Rich's heart sank. Adam glanced at her and then back at his father. Confusion turned to anger again. "Shut up," Adam snapped, the fire returning to his eyes. "You don't know what this is." Rich stepped closer, grasping at the moment, desperate to pull focus back to them. "Listen, Adam. Everything I did was for you, for us. When I thought you were lost, I lost myself, and now." The electric pull of the moment died down as the crowd began to whisper again, a hunger for the spectacle growing ever faster as uncertainty heightened. "Everything you did. For us." Adam's voice dripped with bitterness, dripping down their entangled histories like rain. "You abandoned us meaninglessly. What could possibly make that right?" The officer took one more step closer, the light of his flashlight slicing through the rain. "I'm giving you one more chance. Step away or what?" Rich snapped, eyes wild, defiance roaring to life in him. What's your plan, officer? To silence the truth? Every second that passed amplified the unspoken tension. A standoff was brewing, pulsing under the stormy sky. Did I end that charged moment? Rich realized something else was looming, other shadows dancing at the edge of the crowd. Eyes watched, not only with curiosity but with judgment. A mix of fear and adrenaline coursing through the unknown observers. Something's coming, he thought. What else is out there? As thunder cracked again, the thoughts solidified. Rich's sense of danger stretched. The truth they had whispered through years was creeping closer to the surface. Would it burst forth with might like the storm above? Wait. Rich blurted, turning back to Adam, heart pounding. There's something you need to know. Something about your mother. The air shifted, the crowd trapped in an echo of silence, every unsaid word ready to rush out like rain. Did he dare unearth buried secrets now? Or would this moment slip through their fingers just like every opportunity before? What awaited in the darkness, alongside the truths that could irrevocably change everything? The storm outside raged on, wrapping around them like a shroud, demanding answers before the sky broke open once more. Rich swallowed hard, the weight of his words pressing down like the storm's heavy rain. Your mother, she didn't leave us because she wanted to. Adam's expression flickered with confusion, a spark of curiosity peeking through his anger. What do you mean? The crowd shifted, hushed whispers crackling like static electricity. Rich steeled himself, fighting to keep the trembling in his hands at bay. There were things happening, things you don't know. I thought I was protecting you from the truth. Protecting me? Adam scoffed, disbelief washing over his face. By abandoning me? By letting me grow up without you? Not just that, Rich implored, desperation pouring from his voice. There were threats. I didn't know if she would be safe. She was trapped in a world that could destroy us both. What kind of threats? Adam demanded, eyes narrowing, catching fire like a spark against dry wood. The officer shifted, the flashlight cutting through the mist of rain, alert for any further outburst. Listen, Adam, please, Rich pressed, heart racing, trying to connect the fragmented pieces of years lost. There was a man, someone she was afraid of. He wanted her back in that life, the life we escaped. You have to believe me. Leaving was her best choice. A whisper ricocheted through the crowd, mixed with gasps and murmurs, people's attention dancing like fireflies. The world outside faded further, shadows merging into the storm-whipped night. And you think this justifies everything? Adam's voice trembled, holding a hurricane of emotions within. All the pain you caused? The hurt I felt? Do you have any idea what I went through without you? Please, I had tried to protect you. Rich felt his throat tighten, churning with regret. She didn't want you to feel that weight. I thought it was for the best. I never wanted this. Thunder rumbled again, but it seemed to echo the tension suffocating them. The officer shifted uncomfortably. You're running out of time, he warned, voice laced with urgency. Either step away, or we will have to take action. Before Rich could respond, another flash illuminated the dark street. A figure just beyond the crowd caught his eye, a tall silhouette moving furtively, almost ghost-like. Uncertainty prickled at Rich's instincts, awakening a primal fear. He felt the pulse of danger, something waiting just beyond the flags of tension they had created. Who's there? Rich shouted, eyes darting to the figure. The rain masked their features, but there was an unsettling familiarity about the presence. Rich, the voice was soft but edged with steel, a chilling reminder of a life he once thought buried. Adam straightened, confusion mixed with alarm etching across his face. Who's that, Dad? What's going on? Rich's heart thundered, racing against reason. The truth he had concealed, the lurking shadow of disaster from his past, was inching closer. It can't be, he muttered, panic gripping his chest. The crowd shifted again, drawn toward this unfolding drama, their collective eyes glistening with anticipation and fear. I didn't want you to find out like this, Rich whispered, pleading silently for Adam to understand the chaotic swamp that had been their lives. What do you mean? Adam pressed, voice potent with a mix of desperation and anger. Just tell me. Rich's gaze remained locked on the figure. As the storm swelled, a name clawed at the back of his mind, memories twisting into clear focus. What if the truth about his mother, about the man she had run from, intertwined with this figure now standing at the edge of their reality? "What are you doing here?" Rich shouted into the storm, heart on fire with the tumult of memories. The figure stepped closer, face finally emerging from shadows, eyes glinting like shards of glass. The shock rippled through the crowd as recognition settled on Rich like a cold shroud. "You should have told him, Rich. Now it's too late to shield him from the truth that could destroy you both." The air hung thick with tension, sharp as lightning. Adam's gaze shifted between his father and that enigmatic figure, confusion quickly morphing into realization. Rich's heart pounded, knowing the storm wasn't just overhead. It was about to shatter the fragile world he had tried to construct. What happened to the truth took root in that charged moment. Could it sow discord or unite them against an unseen enemy? As the storm raged like their tumbling emotions, one question lingered as the rain battered down around them. Could Rich truly face the darkness he had turned from, or would it consume them both? What lay in the chilling embrace of unresolved secrets? And when would the tempest break at last? The figure stepped fully into the light, and Rich's stomach dropped. It was Sarah Adams' mother, her face weathered but determined, eyes alight with a mixture of fear and resolve. Her presence sent a shockwave through Rich, a sensory reminder of what he had lost and what had haunted him every day since she vanished from their lives. "Did you think I wouldn't find you?" she confronted Rich, her voice steady despite the tempest around them. The rain poured down heavily, drenching everyone, but it was as though the world had narrowed, leaving only Rich, Sarah, and Adam in an electric bubble of charged emotions. "What are you doing here, Sarah?" Rich's voice broke slightly, each word laced with a mixture of dread and longing. He had tried to protect Adam, trying to block out the pain of her absence, but seeing her now felt like a blade cutting through old wounds. "Adam deserves to know the truth," Sarah said boldly, the crowd behind them still hushed with intrigue. "You've kept him in the dark long enough." Rich's heart raced as he looked from Sarah to Adam, who hovered on the edge of confusion and anger. It felt like they were standing on the brink of a chasm, ready to plunge into revelations that could tear them apart, or maybe bring some twisted version of healing. "Truth?" Adam echoed, his voice charged with venom. "What truth? You both have been lying to me my entire life." "It's not that simple," Rich pleaded, feeling exposed and desperate. "I thought you thought what, Rich? That lying would protect him?" Sarah's voice cut sharp as glass. "You have no idea what kind of danger we were in. The kind of danger that still exists." Those words hung in the air, heavy and menacing. The crowd was leaning in, curious bystanders turned witnesses. Rich felt the weight of their eyes, sensing judgment and disbelief reflected in their stares. The pouring rain bathed them all, but Rich felt an internal storm brewing. "Will someone just tell me? What are you both talking about?" Adam's voice cracked, the frustration boiling over. "I have the right to know. I'm not some kid anymore." "It's just," Rich struggled, grappling with how to explain the darkness that had chased them. "There was a man, a powerful man, who threatened your mother and me. He wanted something we took from him. And when we left, he promised it wouldn't end there." "What do you mean?" Adam stepped closer, eyes wide with an unsettling mix of fear and determination. "What did he want?" "Me," Sarah said, her voice lowered but filled with a simmering intensity. "He wanted me back in that world, the world we escaped from. I didn't just leave to hurt you. I thought I was saving you." Rich watched as Adam's expression shifted, confusion unfurling into understanding. "You're telling me that you ran away because of this man?" "Yes." Sarah shot back, her frustration spilling over. "And now he's tracking me down again. That's why I came back. I had to face it. I need to protect you, even if it means uncovering everything I tried to hide." "Protect me?" Adam scoffed, the bitterness returning to his voice. "You think running away protects me? You've only kept me in a prison of lies." "Enough," Rich barked, his voice shaking but firm. "You need to listen, Adam. This man, he's dangerous. We never wanted this life for you. Then why are you both here now?" Adam shot back, fury bubbling under the surface. "Why reveal everything now when I'm finally seeing you both?" "Because it's time," Sarah stated, glancing at the looming storm above, droplets crashing down like ominous nails on the earth. "We're both here to face the truth, and you're part of it. We can't hide anymore. You need to be prepared." A deep rumble of thunder echoed overtly, as if the sky itself approved of Sarah's words. But Rich could feel the foundations of their world cracking, their journey toward the truth coupled with uncharted peril. His heart sank, knowing that what loomed ahead could break them or bind them stronger together. "What comes next?" Adam demanded, his voice breaking the tension but also tightening it still further. "What do we do?" Rich opened his mouth but staggered, unable to form the words. Another figure shifted in the shadows, dark and formidable, an unfamiliar silhouette. As the realization dawned, a chill shot down Rich's spine. "Who is there?" he called, his voice echoing with urgency. The figure stepped forward, the rain ceaselessly crashing around them. And then Rich's heart dropped, for from the darkness came the truth that had been hiding all along, a truth even Sarah had failed to mention. In this storm of revelations, what horrors awaited them? Could they truly be ready to face the man who had haunted their past and, just maybe, their future? The shadow shifted closer, features becoming clearer, and Rich's heart thundered in his chest as he recognized the figure. It was Marcus, his face twisted in a predatory grin. Rain poured down in sheets, but it felt as if the very air had turned electric. Well, what do we have here?" Marcus drawled, stepping from the obscurity with a menacing ease. The crowd behind them seemed to hold its collective breath, caught between fear and curiosity. "Marcus," Sarah hissed, her voice betraying a mix of defiance and dread. "You shouldn't be here." "Oh, but I must. You see, the past isn't quite done with us, is it?" He took another step, and Rich felt the urge to push Adam behind him, to shield him from the danger lurking so close. But Adam was already stepping forward, eyes blazing with defiance. "Who are you?" he demanded, jaw clenched tight, ready to fight back against the fear jabbing at his insides. Rich's pulse quickened. "You need to back off. This isn't your fight. You don't know what you're dealing with." Marcus let out a low laugh, the kind that sent ripples of ice down Rich's spine. "Oh, I think I know exactly what I'm dealing with. And who I'm dealing with." He shot a glance at Sarah, his gaze filled with malicious satisfaction. "You've brought him right to me, haven't you? Your little secret. Your son." Adam recoiled slightly, confusion blending with underlying anger. "What do you want with me?" "Such an innocent question, Adam. But your mother here has already set the stage. You're part of a game much bigger than you can comprehend." Rich's body tensed. He could practically feel the dark cloud of Marcus's intentions looming over them. "Leave him out of this," he shouted, desperation rising in his voice. "This is between you and Sarah." But that's where you're wrong. This is exactly about Adam," Marcus shot back, leaning forward. "It's time he learned the truth about his family. Who they really are. What they really did." The words dripped with malicious intent. "Truth? What truth?" Adam's voice trembled slightly, wavering between distrust and the yearning to understand his existence. Marcus stepped closer still, eyes gleaming. "You want to know about your father? The coward that ran? The mother that abandoned you? This is a family built on lies, my boy. And now, it's time to pay the price." Lightning cracked overhead, illuminating the chaos brewing in Rich's heart. He instinctively reached for Adam, pulling him close. "Don't listen to him, Adam. Whatever he's saying is a trick. It's all lies." "Lies?" Marcus spat. "Is that what you call the truth? Your mother ran from a world she didn't want you to be a part of. But here's the kicker, she can't escape it. None of us can." Adam's face morphed into one of pain and confusion, uncertainty etching deep lines across his forehead. "What does that even mean?" Rich's mouth felt suddenly dry as he searched for words to wrap Adam in safety, but fear was choking him. "He is trying to manipulate you. Don't let him." "Oh, but it's too late for that, isn't it?" Marcus said, his voice low and dangerous, his expression darkening. "Your mother's past is coming to claim what it lost, and you are the key." Rain pelted down harder, mingling with the rising tension, thick enough to choke on. Rich could sense the shift in the air, the danger curling around them like smoke. Everything felt fragile, on the verge of breaking apart. "Let us see how far you're willing to go for the truth, Adam," Marcus taunted, eyes glinting with menace. Rich's protective instincts flared. "You won't touch him." But before he could step forward, the ground trembled beneath them, a faint rumble echoing in the distance that quickly morphed into a full-blown roar. An explosion of sound filled the air, followed by chaos in the crowd as they scrambled, uncertain of what was happening. "Run!" Rich shouted, pushing Adam forward even as panic set in. But the shadows shifted again, surrounding them like predators closing in. "Take a close look at what's coming for you." Marcus laughed, his voice rising above the cacophony. Rich grasped Adam's arm, adrenaline surging through him. "We have to go now." But before they could make a move, a figure erupted from the chaos, a woman, drenched like the rest, but unmistakably fierce, eyes ablaze with a message that sent chills down Rich's spine. "Enough!" she cried, cutting through the storm. Could one woman change the tide? What truth lay behind her words? And would it be enough to save them all from the encroaching doom? The woman stepped closer, rain streaming down her face. But it was the intensity in her eyes that captured Rich's attention. She was commanding, fierce, and undeniably determined. The crowd fell silent, as if the storm had made all sound irrelevant in the face of her authority. "Who are you?" Marcus sneered, the bravado slipping from his tone, replaced by simmering unease. "Enough of your games, Marcus," the woman replied, her voice steady. "This isn't about you. It never was." Rich's heart raced. He glanced at Adam, who stared wide-eyed between the three figures, confused and afraid. Who was this woman, and how could she make Marcus falter with just her presence? "Mom," Adam finally whispered, uncertainty hanging in the air. "Not your mother," she said sharply, shaking her head. "Not yet." "Then who?" Adam started but was cut off by a flash of anger in Marcus's eyes. "You're playing with fire, Rebecca," Marcus growled, stepping back into the shadows. "You have no idea how deep this all runs." Rich held his breath. The tension simmered, flaring with every moment that passed. "Run," Sarah urged, her voice breaking the stillness, and the urgency in her tone made Rich's instincts flare into action. He pulled Adam closer, only to find the boy rooted in place, his mind catching up to the unfolding chaos. "What do we do?" Adam asked, voice trembling. "There's no time to explain," Rich hollered, casting a glance back to the crowd that had been riled into a frenzy by the promise of violence. "We have to keep moving." Rebecca stepped forward, shimmering intensity still radiating from her. "I'll handle this. Trust me." "You need to get Adam out before it's too late, Rich." "Handle what?" Rich shot back, armor against uncertainty. "Do you know what he is capable of?" "Of course," she said, a fire igniting in her stare. "But secrets can only stay buried so long. And you don't want Adam to bear this burden. Not if you have a choice." That singular moment of clarity struck him hard. Could he leave Adam in a place of danger? Would he risk letting go, only to have the truth consume them all? "Trust her, Dad," Adam said suddenly, a strength blooming across his face. The fear that once held him captive now transformed into resolve. "Maybe it's time I learned the truth, whatever it is." Rich felt the ground sway beneath them. "Are you insane, Adam? You don't know anything yet." "Enough," Rebecca shouted, her voice commanding again, refocusing their chaotic energy. "You two must leave. Right now. There's more to this than you realize, and every second you stay here puts you in jeopardy." "What about you?" Adam's voice quivered, fear battling against the impulse to protect. The air thundered and the ground shifted once more. A flicker of raw energy pulsed through the rain-soaked atmosphere. With every passing heartbeat, chaos threatened to drown them. "I want to run," Rebecca declared, her voice crystal clear, unwavering. "Someone has to draw Marcus away. Do not hesitate. I promise, we will find each other again." Rich felt the weight of her words. "We can't just leave you. You have to," she shouted, and Rich could see the depths of her resolve. In that single moment he knew. "Now Adam. We must go." His own instincts yelled to flee, to protect his son. Without another moment to think, he grabbed Adam's arm, pulling him along as they darted through the sea of panic and shadows that as they broke free from the thrumming heart of chaos. Pain and anger surged through Rich like a firestorm. "We're getting out of here," he panted, pulling Adam with unyielding effort, plagued by uncertainty. "Where do we go?" Adam asked, wide eyes searching Rich's face, desperately seeking guidance. "Anywhere that keeps you safe," Rich called back, heart racing. But as they made it to the edges of the crowd, the last thing Rich saw was a flash of dark fury, ionic energy flashing around Marcus as he writhed against the inevitable. Know this, Adam. The truth will find you. Marcus's voice was like thunder rolling through the storm as it echoed off into the night. With a heavy heart, Rich plunged behind the chaos. But as they ran, an ugly thought burrowed into his mind: what would be revealed in the final reckoning? And what truth might come for them all? The storm raged, but uncertainty lingered heavier in their wake. A haunting question loomed: was this fight truly over? The rain fell harder, drenching Rich and Adam as they navigated through the chaotic streets. The sounds of confusion and thunder faded into the distance, but the weight of their encounter with Marcus clung to them like the storm itself. Where do we go now? Adam's voice was thick with confusion. Their urgency reflected in the way he darted his eyes around, seeking safety in the unknown. Rich felt the heavy knot in his chest, panic still clawing at him. They needed to keep moving somewhere far from the chaos that had just erupted. We need to find shelter, somewhere we can think, he replied, his heart pounding with both the fear of losing his son again and the need to finally be honest. Adam, listen, there was so much to explain. So many truths pent up inside, battling to escape from the confines of his heart. But Adam shook his head, frustration bubbling over. This isn't just about running away, Dad. Explain. Rich took a deep breath, urgency settling into focus. I'll tell you everything. Just let us find somewhere safe first, all right? Just trust me. Adam glanced at him, the fire of rebellion flickering to life again. But as the moments stretched painfully in silence, a flicker of understanding broke through the chaos in his eyes. All right. They moved swiftly, ducking into an alleyway, its shadows a temporary refuge. The rain hammered against the concrete, a relentless reminder of the storm outside, and the tempest they'd just escaped. Rich leaned against a cold brick wall, eyeing Adam carefully. We just went through so much, and I know it's overwhelming. Adam's lip quivered, holding back unshed tears. You never told me. You let me believe all those lies. How could you? Rich felt his own heart sink, the gut-wrenching regret weighing heavily on his soul. I thought I was protecting you, Adam. I thought keeping you away from the truth was for the best, but I see now how wrong that was. Right or wrong doesn't change the pain I felt. Adam shot back, pain laced in every syllable. I know. I can't take that back, but I will do everything I can to make this right. The silence hung heavily. Only the sound of rain and muted screams echoing from afar bluntly filling the air. Then Adam spoke, voice full of uncertainty. So Marcus really means to hurt us? Yes, back because of Mom? Rich nodded, his heart tightening. Yes. She didn't just leave. There are things we never talked about, shadows that haunt us. This man, he believes he has a claim on her. Adam scoffed, anger resurfacing. And on me as well. I'm not some pawn in your games, Dad. Why didn't you tell me any of this before? Because I was scared, Rich admitted, the weight of his voice hitting Adam hard. I thought if I shielded you from the truth, I was protecting you. But it only created a wall between us. Adam stood taller now, brows drawn together. You have no idea how alone I felt, every birthday. Every moment where I wondered why you weren't around. I covered it up, but it hurts. Rich staggered, emotion rising like a tidal wave. Adam, I thought it would be easier if you didn't know. I never wanted to burden you. The truth was encapsulated in my own failure, but I see what it did to you. You should have been my priority. Tears finally slipped past Adam's resolve, his voice thick with emotion. I needed you, Dad. The flood of honesty broke over Rich, washing away the pain that gripped them. I need you too. And I'll do everything to ensure you're safe. We're facing this together. I'll fight for you. The thunder rolled ominously overhead, as if affirming their pact. Rich moved forward, gripping Adam's shoulders, staring earnestly into his son's eyes. You're stronger than you know. We need to go back. Find your mother. Face Marcus together. Adam's gaze faltered for a flicker of a second, then hardened with resolve. Together. But we have to know what we're walking into. Rich nodded, adrenaline fueling his veins. Then we dig deep. We figure this out, but we do it as a family. A new clarity ignited within Adam. Something unfurling from the ashes of pain. Okay, let us find her. We can do this, Dad. As they stepped back into the storm, fear and uncertainty still lingered, but so did a flicker of hope. They weren't running from the shadows anymore. They were moving toward the light, together. Let us go. Hand in hand, they braved the chaotic storm, facing the truth ahead, ready to embrace whatever was waiting for them. And in that moment, they weren't just a father and son. They were a family, united against the darkness that had haunted them for too long. Now, it's your turn to be part of this journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm and show your support. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about the ending. You need to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Don't wait even one more second. Your participation makes all the difference.